Good morning. My name is Douglas Barnes, and I am a certified retirement coach. I help retired and pre-retired African Americans prepare for retirement with confidence by simplifying the process. I offer helpful retirement solutions through videos, podcasts, webinars, ebooks, and one-on-one coaching. I do this because I want to empower and help African American senior citizens to live a long and prosperous life without going broke. You can go to our webpage, www.blackandretired.com. Once again, that's www.blackandretired.com. Now, today, we're going to talk about some of the secrets that I learned from millionaire real estate investors. You see, I was a member of several real estate investment clubs here in Houston. And I remember at that first meeting, the presenter, said that we need to go out and borrow $100,000 from a bank and use $10,000 of that and go buy 10 houses with each of the $10,000. Now, to me, that was rather strange because you see, I come from a family where my parents never owned a house. My parents never owned a car. They never invested any money. They never saved any money, and they never voted. So this was really a strange philosophy for me. And I learned that there were a lot of guys in these real estate organizations that had hundreds of thousands of dollars in their IRAs and 401ks. And I didn't have that, okay? But we would go out on these buying field trips. And they said, all you need to do is bring a check, because they would teach you how to buy properties, what properties not to buy, and what areas to buy these properties in. So what I did in these real estate organizations, I took notes, lots of notes, hundreds and hundreds of pages of notes. And I condensed those notes down to about 4 or 5 pages that I'm going to talk about today. Okay. So in these organizations, I started learning things like, how to put together a real estate team, how different ways on how to buy property, how to fill out the forms and the contracts, where to buy, where not to buy, how to advertise your property, how to perform evictions, things of that nature. So this is just some of the stuff that I learned by going to these real estate club meetings. Okay. So once again, today, I'm going to share some of the secrets that I learned from some of the millionaire real estate investors that I met at these real estate investment clubs. Okay. Now I was able to start buying real estate during the last recession that we had after the stock market crash in 2008. It was a perfect storm, and real estate investing bargains were everywhere. I had to buy cheap or I didn't buy. You see, I learned that wealth comes from chaos, and there were bargain buying bonanzas everywhere. As billionaire Warren Buffett says, buy when there is blood on the streets. Buying properties and renting them out was the way I decided that I was going to make money in real estate. So let me ask you guys, how are you going to get rich and wealthy as you prepare for your retirement? Perhaps you're going to win the lottery. Perhaps you're going to win some lawsuit. Perhaps you're going to inherit the money. Well, for me, a lot of those things were pipe dreams. So let me ask you guys, is there a chance this year that interest rates will go up? Is there a chance this year that the government is going to screw up? Is there a chance this year that we will go to war again? Is there a chance this year that we will be exporting jobs to another country? And is there a chance this year that the stock market is going to crash? All right, guys, let's talk about some real estate. You see, I learned that one of the keys to wealth was to borrow money and get other people to pay for it. So borrowing that $100,000 from a bank was something that I was really afraid of. I was scared because you see, I learned that if you owe the bank $5,000, you got a problem. But if you owe a bank $5 million, the bank's got a problem. You see, in the government right now, today, I've learned that there are a lot of guys in the White House that owe banks millions upon millions of dollars. And some of those guys aren't even going to pay the money back. What did they do with that millions of dollars? They invested it into real estate. Because you see, the rich use OPM to get rich. OPM stands for other people's money. The rich use other people's money to get rich. Okay. So now there are two kinds of money out there, guys. There's too much money and not enough money. Let me ask you, what would you rather have? Okay. So my real estate goal, my exit strategy in real estate was to take ownership of properties, put a tenant in that property as soon as possible, either sell the property later with owner financing or cash out with a qualified buyer who had a bank loan. Remember, guys, you don't want problem properties. You want excellent properties owned by people with problems, So we are not looking for real estate first. We are looking for motivated buyers first. Motivated sellers are found. We're looking for motivated sellers. Motivated sellers are not found. Motivated sellers are found, not made. Let me correct that. Motivated sellers are found and not made. And once you find a motivated seller, deals are made, not found. So let me tell you guys what I think you should do if you're interested in getting into real estate. One of the first things I believe you should do is join a real estate investment club. Okay? This is what I did. And so I suggest that you find out who the real players are in this real estate investment club. It's not easy to identify them. It's usually the guys that look like they have a lot of property. They look like they have a lot of money. They're the millionaire real estate investors. And I would suggest that you go and talk to 3 to 5 of these mentors, as I call them, and ask them this question. Just say, sir, I'm just getting started. Sir or ma'am, I'm just getting started in real estate. Can I ask you a question? If you were just starting in real estate and you had no money, you had no properties, what would you do to become wealthy? Sit back and listen, and later go write down the answers. You see, another thing that you might want to consider doing, it's real important, is consider setting up a power team. A power team will consist of realtors. It's going to consist of contractors to do the work for you, mortgage companies, banks, other investors. Start building a real estate investment team. You can go online and find out about how to put your team together and who you should have on your team. Okay. Another thing is you must have an entrance and exit strategy before you buy real estate. One of the things I did was here. This is a map of Houston, and you need to get a map of any city that you're interested in buying property in, because you want to know what zip codes you want to buy in and what zip codes you don't want to buy in. Okay. Also have here some exit strategies. Exit strategies will tell you what to buy, how to buy, and there are many different ways to buy property. These are just some of them that I use. The technique that I decided to use was buy and hold. Okay. And there's also here, I have a single family checklist. And on this checklist, I would check off things that I need to take care of. Things such as getting quotes from the contractors. Things such as staying in touch with the title company, contacting the gas company, the electric company, verify the turn-on dates of those utilities, verify that my realtor was going to meet me at the closing, change all the locks, go to the post office, get the mailbox keys, things of that nature, things that you really want to know. Another thing I did, I had a property profile. A property profile would tell me how to buy properties. I looked at the location, the condition, the price, the financing, and seller's motivation. And here's the property selection grid. Okay, I had a point system for each property. Points range from 1 to 15. And the property did not at least make a 12. I moved on to another property. Okay, so those are things you should consider. Okay, so now here's the number one rule in real estate. Either you can make money on the deal or you can't make money on the deal. Run the numbers. If the numbers work, it's a deal. If not, you're on to something else. Okay. Your goal should be to set up a multi-million dollar real estate company from your computer. So try to get a list of properties that are 30, 40, 50% below market. Okay. 4 words you want to listen to from a seller when you call them. If the seller says these 4 words, I just want out. If he says, I just want out, race to get over to his property and make an offer. There's also a thing called the 10-10-10 rule that I learned about. The worst deal that you should make is a maximum of 10% down, a maximum of 10% interest rate, and a minimum of 10% below market. There's also this thing that this millionaire real estate investor named Dolph DeRose out of Europe, he's got this system he calls the 100-10-3-1 rule. Okay, so what he would say was, look at 100 properties, make offers on 10, arrange for the financing on 3, and buy 1. I tell you guys, if you look at 100 properties, you're probably going to end up buying 1. Okay, so fake it till you make it. Usually about every 5 years, you should try to refinance your properties. Take the cash out and then go buy another property. Pick one thing in real estate and do it well. Another thing I want to tell you is to take action quickly, guys. Good deals don't last. Offer more than what is expected and then go back and lower the price. Lock up the deal first, then negotiate. The best question for you to ask a seller is, will you sell your house for what you owe on it? Once again, will you sell your house for what you owe on it? Okay. So let me tell you some things that you should not do. Number 1, don't tell people at your job that you're into real estate investing. There are a lot of jealous people out there, and they find out that you're doing pretty well and you're making money. They're going to do whatever they can to bring you down to their level. They're not going to come up to your level. They're going to bring you down to theirs, even if it means getting you fired from your job. Number 2, don't ever lowball an already good deal. If you have a good deal, go forward. Don't continue to try to lowball that offer. Number 3, don't buy a house with a bad roof or a bad slab. It's going to be a very expensive purchase for you in the future. Number 4, never buy with more than 10% down if you can, unless you can buy 20% below market. Okay. Number 5, if you are not embarrassed by your offer, you're offering too much. Number 6, don't work with homeowners who are upside down on their mortgage. Okay. Don't buy expensive houses. Guys, don't mess with rich people. Okay. Obviously, they know something because they're rich. So don't mess with them. Stay away from them. Okay. Number 8, you can buy with no money down, but never sell that way. Number 9, run the real estate business. Don't let the business run you. Number 10, contractors or workers that you hire will try to get money from you up front. Don't do it. Okay. Never pay a contractor in advance. All right. And also go with them to Home Depot or Lowe's when they go to buy materials. You don't want to get ripped off. Okay. Number 12, there are still deals out there, but you can't steal in slow motion. Number 13, offer more than what is expected in order to eliminate the competition and then go back later and lower the price. Okay. Number 14, don't give out the keys to your property until you get the property under contract and you got your money. Number 15, never take partial rents from your tenants. Number 16, never tell your tenants that you are the owner of the property. Tell them that you are an employee of the management company. They find out you're the owner, they're going to try to make some wills and deals with you, and they're going to be late paying their rent. If they're late, you can always tell them, well, the management company sent me to collect the rent or make sure the rent is paid on time. Okay. Number 17, don't buy houses with burglar bars. Most of the houses that I've noticed that have burglar bars are in war zones, and you don't want to buy properties that are in war zones. Number 18, if you're having some problems renting your properties, try this techniques. Advertise on your sign 1 month free rent. So offer half off on the second or third month of the rental and another half off at Christmas time. They'll lose this deal if they are ever late. Okay. Number 19, offer the best product at the best price. Don't rent to criminals. You may say, well, why? You're trying to help these guys. They committed a crime maybe 10 years ago. So what? If they still have a record, and if they do some damage, or if they attack somebody in one of your units, one of your properties, and you know that this guy is a criminal, they're going to come after you. Okay. So one of the things you want to do is, if you have a tenant that you want to force or entice to move out, raise the rent significantly and they'll move. Okay. Now let me tell you some things that you should do. Okay. So here are two things a real estate investor does. A real estate investor finds money and finds deals. He finds money through banks, investors, and other lenders. He finds deals online, through newspapers, through driving for dollars, and through bird dogs. One of the things that you should do, or a major thing you should do, is focus on things in real estate that's going to make you money, such as 1, finding deals, 2, making offers by writing contracts, number 3, negotiating and inspecting property, number 4, closing deals. 3 things that any house should have before you purchase or after you fix it up. You should have new carpet or tile. You should be totally painted inside and out, and everything should be clean. Remember, guys, we are selling or renting a house, not a palace. Do not over repair a home. There are 4 main reasons for failure in the real estate business. Number 1 is greed. Number 2 is laziness. Number 3 is ignorance. And number 4 is misinformation. There are 4 things to have after writing a real estate contract. You want to have a title, a commitment. You want to have an inspection. Make sure you do an inspection before you purchase any property. You want to have an appraisal, and you also want to have a survey. Now, my 5 personal parameters for purchasing single-family homes were this. They had to be a 3-2-2, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage. Had to be priced less than $100,000. Had to be built after 1995. I tried to buy some baby boomer properties. It had to have at least 1,000 to 1,800 square feet. And they had to have a minimum, there must be a minimum of $200 a month of positive cash flow. Now, there are 5 characteristics of a real estate deal. There's a mnemonic device called IDEAL, I-D-E-A-L. Let me spell it out for you. The I stood for income, which is cash flow from rents and rent increases. The D stands for depreciation, which just means you can depreciate and have other tax advantages in your property. The E is for the equity buildup. The A is for an appreciation or the rise in price of the property. The L was for leverage, so you could go out and buy more properties. Okay? There are 5 no-brainers to negotiate prior to working with a mortgage company. These are things I try to negotiate with every mortgage company I talked with. Number 1, no application fee. Number 2, no loan origination fee. Number 3, no PMI or private mortgage insurance. You'll find out about this once you join a real estate investment club, and they teach you ways on how to avoid that private mortgage insurance or the PMI. Number 4, no escrow. And number 5, no points. Now, the rule of thumb on repairs, particularly on the way I purchased property, which was buy and hold, was there was a maximum repairs on the house of $10,000. That meant $5,000 on the interior and $5,000 on the exterior. I was kind of lucky. My last few houses I bought were REOs, or real estate owned properties. The banks had these properties in move-in condition. All I had to do was put a sign in the yard and rent the property. Okay. So now there are 7 key steps to real estate investing. Number 1, decide to become a real estate investor. Number 2, find a familiar farm area to concentrate on. Number 3, find and locate properties that meet your criteria. Number 4, negotiate the deal. Number 5, put the deal together. Number 6, manage and lease the property effectively. And number 7, repeat the process over and over and over again. Now, there are 8 golden rules of real estate investing. I learned this from a real estate investor by the name of Robert Kiyosaki, who wrote the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He said, number 1, you make your money when you buy. You get paid when you sell. Number 2, always buy from a motivated or a desperate seller. Number 3, fall in love with the deal, not the property. Remember, it's a numbers game. Number 4, never be the first to name a figure or a price. That person always loses. And make sure that you ask for discounts. Number 5, be counter-cyclical. In other words, go against the crowd. Remember what Warren Buffett said, buy when there's blood on the streets. Number 6, always try to buy with zero or little money down. Number 7, seldom sell your properties unless your depreciation does not cover your cash flow. Number 8, the deal of the decade comes along about once a week. You just need to make sure you're ready. I have 8 real estate strategies I'm going to pass on to you now. Number 1, never, ever pay retail for real estate. Try to buy at least 20% below market. Number 2, negotiate the lowest interest rate payment that you can find. Number 3, make extra payments to the principal, preferably on the front end. You want to reduce the yearly time that you have to make payments on that property. Number 4, never pay a full real estate commission. Here in Texas, the real estate commission is around 6%, but there are companies and realtors out there that will do 4.5%, 5%. They're out there. You just need to go find them. Number 5, always ask for a discount. Number 6, don't ever hang on to a bad piece of real estate. Number 7, your goal when you buy real estate is to find a way to lower the deal by $5,000. Number 8, raise the price and lower the terms. Okay? So you see, real estate is easy, guys. People are what's difficult. So get through your first 10 deals as soon as possible. And pick at least 2 zip codes in an area and master that area. Use Google Earth to search for and look for properties in the area that you're interested in. Let me share some stories with you that I had with some investors that I met at these real estate clubs. I once sat next to this young kid. He was a teenager. I knew he was a teenager. He looked real young. And I'm wondering what he was doing there at this real estate investor meeting. And so we got to talking. And I come to find out from this guy that he was an investor. And he also told me that nobody in his family had ever had a job. And I said, what do you mean? Because see, all my parents ever taught me when I was growing up was get a job, get a job, get a job. But this guy told me, this young kid, said that his grandmother learned about real estate investing in the 40s and the 50s. And she taught real estate investing to everybody in the family. And nobody in that family ever had a job. Let me tell you about another friend of mine. He's a Latin friend. He was a real estate investor. He once called me and said he was getting ready to go buy this property. He had an incredible deal on some property. The property was valued at about $85,000, and he had talked the guy down, negotiated down to $57,000, and he was on his way to buy the property. So I started asking about the property, where it was located, tell me a little bit about it. And when he identified where the property was going to be located, I kind of knew a little bit about that area. It was in a flood zone. So one of the things I asked my friend was, have you checked to see if you could get insurance on that property? And he told me, you know something, Douglas, I hadn't thought about that. Let me make a couple of calls and I'll call you right back. Well, about 15 minutes later, he called me back and he said, Douglas, you just saved me $57,000. I said, oh, yeah? He said, yeah. He said, that property has had so much damage. It's in a bad flood zone and no insurance company is going to cover it. You just saved me $57,000. Good. Let me tell you a little bit about one of my mom's friends. One of my mom's friends called me once. She knew I was owned quite a bit of real estate. And she called me. She said, Douglas, I have these three real estate properties that I owned, a condo, a house, and two houses and a condo. And she said, all my tenants are late. All my tenants are 3 months late. And she asked me, what should I do? I said, well, what you need to do is to evict every single one of them. And she told me, I can't do that to people. So I said, then you need to sell the properties. So I didn't talk to her again for maybe another 3 months. And she called me back and she said, now, Douglas, I need to tell you, all my tenants are 6 months behind on their rents. Once again, I told her, sell the properties. Now, she passed away last year, so I really don't know what happened with these properties, but I tried to give her some educated advice. Now, a lot of people in these real estate organizations I sat next to have spent tens of thousands of dollars joining these real estate clubs. I thought that was a lot of money until I got to talking to these people and I found out that a lot of them own millions of dollars worth of property. So then I didn't think it was that bad. But here's the deal. I also ran into some investors in the real estate clubs that I was a member of that invested tens of thousands of dollars to join, and they never bought a property. I guess fear controlled their lives. Keep in mind, guys, you may have to pay more today than the listed price of property. This is what happens in today's real estate market. It's really tough to lowball and get a property because everybody's lowballing. Okay. So here's some key points I want you to keep in mind. Number one, real estate is easy. People are difficult. Okay. So pick one thing in real estate and do it well. Take action quickly. Good deals don't last. Make offers on real estate at the listed price or higher. Lock it in, then renegotiate. A lot of times that lowballing does not work. You see, debt, I learned that debt has the power to make you rich and also has the power to make you very poor. Real estate is what many people consider good debt. Credit card debt is what many people consider bad debt. Okay? So you can't get to where you want to go. I want to say this. You cannot get to where you want to go by hanging around with people who are struggling just like you. Okay? So real estate allows you to have good debt, and good debt is going to make you rich quicker. Here's something important, guys. The real estate process, it's the real estate process that can make you rich, not the property. You have to understand the game of real estate. Make a little bit of money on a lot of real estate. Okay? Now, as far as rentals, if it takes over a week to rent your property, there's two reasons why. Number one, the rent is too high. Or number two, you have a bad property. Here's the renter's criteria that I learned. The renter's monthly take-home pay must be at least 3 times the rent. The renter's monthly gross salary must be at least 4 times the rent. Otherwise, you're going to have problems collecting rent. So I said, once again, if you make 100 offers, sooner or later, you will buy a property. So we either get a tremendous deal or we don't buy. In other words, we buy way below market. Now, there are a lot of black baby boomers out here who are struggling financially because they still had their parents' ideals about money. I know I was one of them. I had my parents' ideas about money until I started learning how rich people think. I started learning what rich people do, and I started doing those things. Here's one thing that I learned. The richer you get, the more free time you have. The more free time you have, the more you can invest. The more you can invest, the richer you get. So it's this circle that you have to keep going and building on. Now, successful people are the most consistent failures on this planet. Unsuccessful people are people who never fail. Why? Because they never try. So I'm saying take some action right now. In real estate, I learned that if you're not screwing up, you're losing money. Now most people fail financially because they take advice from salespeople instead of taking advice from rich people. Make sure that you have an escape clause, or what many realtors call, real estate investors call a weasel clause, so you can get out of any deal that you are doing. Okay. One of the ones I used to use was at the end of the contract, I had an amendment that said this contract contingent upon my partner approving of the property. If I want to get out of the deal, I can say, hey, my partner did not approve of the deal. Okay. Question to ask yourself before you buy any real estate. It's a good question you can ask yourself. I used to ask it of myself. And it's this: how can I turn this piece of real estate into an income producing asset that can put money into my pocket? Here's another tip. Don't wait to buy real estate, guys. Buy real estate, then wait. Okay. So, in closing, let me say once again, my name is Douglas Barnes. You can go to my website, www.blackandretired.com, and find out about a few things about real estate investing, how to add some real estate investing to your investment portfolio. You can also find out about planning for retirement, managing retirement, and leaving a legacy for your family. Make sure you sign up for our free retirement consultation. So you see, guys, it's not about us. It's about our children and our children's children. Our ancient African ancestors left us evidence proving how great they were. Let me ask you guys, what legacy are you going to leave? Thank you. Good luck on your real estate investing.